So I've discovered this thing on TikTok called art lore, and it's actually terrible. Social media can be a great tool for artists. It can help you find a community of like-minded people, spread your work, and find an audience. It can also help you learn from people who are dedicated to the same craft. However, and I don't think anyone will argue with me on this, social media can also be garbage for both your mental health and artistic growth. One of the clearest examples of this is the TikTok art community, or a phenomenon known as art lore. For those of you who don't know what that is, I had to look it up too. It's this category of dramas and discourse within the art TikTok community, usually surrounded by a specific video an artist made. People will then recreate these videos as a way to mock them. It's kind of an inside joke where thousands of people are collectively mocking what's most likely a child. There's many reasons people become a part of art lore. Maybe they made a cringe video that's a little ignorant. Or maybe, and this is the more nefarious reasoning, they just draw in a way the general public doesn't like. Speaking of drawing, if you're a beginner artist or even intermediate artist, another resource for honing your craft is Skillshare, who are very kindly sponsoring this video. Social media can be toxic, and while Skillshare isn't necessarily a social media platform, it connects you to an active community bursting with creative people who want to grow with you. Skillshare allows you to explore almost any creative endeavor you can think of. From design to writing to starting a business, the platform is filled with so many options to amp up your career or even just start a new hobby. A class that caught my eye was this one, taught by Mariana Lustosa. It's a class about successfully publishing a picture book on Kickstarter. These classes are led by accomplished industry professionals who not only have the knowledge you need, but have it structured in a way that is far less overwhelming than just searching on the World Wide Web can be sometimes. Your creativity is worth exploring, even if you don't know where to start. And because of that, the first 500 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. If you're interested, join the community. Now let's get back to the video. The earliest breakthrough case of art lore, one of the most infamous, features a beginner artist named Croquette, a young artist who just wanted to show how they render their artwork. They committed the crime of not being a professional at it and proceeded to just get bullied and dogpiled and mocked for having art that could use improvement. Which, let's keep it a buck, we all can improve. Croquette ended up deactivating and deleting all their videos, and since then, because it's been like a year and some change now, it's gotten a lot of coverage. This person has also improved their artwork a ton because people can get better at things if you don't shame them into quitting them. With this in mind, you may be asking yourself, so, is art lore over? Like, right? We learned our lesson, right? And while a climatic kumbaya where everyone self-reflects sounds great, we all know that didn't happen. Let's be for real. Of course not. In fact, I'd actually argue it's gotten worse. There's two types of art lore events. There's the let's bully this beginner artist because they aren't amazing at art foundationals, and then there's someone who uses art to convey something about themselves or their experience in a delivery that's ignorant at best and criminal at worst by TikTok standards. That means you either have the worldview of a 7-year-old or a sociopath. There's really no in between. TikTok comments, especially the top ones on these types of videos, usually aren't super direct, but you know when you're getting art lored. Oh! The confidence. Cuteness overload! Yes, this is an insult. I've done my research. A lot of comments are also inside jokes related to whatever is trending at the moment. To explain jokes on TikTok, you have to have a PhD in being unemployed, so I'm not too bothered by being confused. I try to stay off TikTok actually, to be honest. I will mindlessly scroll for hours and just scroll my entire day away. Like, me being on TikTok is like the adult equivalent of giving a baby an iPad. But I do get on it sometimes. And when I do stumble upon someone getting bullied because they don't know something well, it's never not kind of messed up. People who don't draw well aren't the only victims of TikTok commentator wrath, okay? People who draw in what is referred to as the jelly art style also got a pretty rough time. The jelly art style is like a certain kind of stylized rendering where the skin looks very gummy and reflective, and you're pretty much rendering the skin and other aspects of the drawing like you'd be rendering jelly or jello or something that's super reflective and soft and gummy looking. People who draw in this style typically draw women, young women, and it's also typically portraits. At least that's the ones I've seen. For no reason at all, TikTok decided that they hated this art style and that everyone who drew in this style were untalented and generic. You guys already know the main people who are hauling all these criticisms of their art. It could use a little critique, you know what I mean? It could use a little criticism. I'm not saying that anyone's bad at drawing. I'm not the bad guy here. I'm just saying it's insane to me how people who draw at what some would call as a not career ready level always have the most to say. What's going on? But something that I want to mention that I find that's consistent in almost all of these like little dramas is this need to humble people who are proud of their work. It's odd, because all this does is make beginner artists insecure, and not even just beginner artists, it just makes artists insecure of their work. But if an artist comes and they don't draw that well, but they're trying to have a tutorial, or they're showing their process, or they're giving advice, or they're just showing off, and then it's like, oh, cuteness overload. Like, you know what I mean? It's messed up. And what makes it more messed up is the fact that, like, you have your entire life to be insecure of your art, and now you went from confident to insecure overnight because you just went viral for being bad at drawing. But that's kind of insane, isn't it? So I guess I just want to say, I know I have some young artists, I know I have some beginner artists who watch my channel, and what I want to tell you guys is, like, don't let the TikTok hate mob deter you from trying new things or pursuing different art styles or just having fun and sharing your work, because honestly, sharing and posting your art is part of the process. Obviously, don't post your work if you don't want to, but I'm saying for the people who do, try not to let TikTok bother you. If you're scared of that, don't let it stop you, because honestly, if you want to make a career out of posting your art or creating art, that's kind of a necessity now, unfortunately. But I hope you guys liked this video. That's pretty much all I have to say on this topic for now. The TikTok art lore community it's like really interesting, honestly. Like I felt this is kind of a outside elevator pitch version of all the lore that goes into the TikTok art lore thing. So if you guys would be interested in more videos like that, just let me know and I'll see what I can do. Spooksy, signing out.